day, another trip to freaking True Value to get some bolts. I hate spending money on bolts, by the way. Well, our trip to the bolt store to True Value ended very, very soon because they had one bolt. I need 18 3/4 by 2-inch bolts to hold Taryns Cradle on, and they have one. Oh, we're off to grab the axles, going to Logan's shop, and then we got to pick up a first gen frame on the way back. So, we got the gooseneck hooked up to the red truck, and we are headed out there to grab these axles. Oh boy, we got axles now. These ones are nice, very nice. Get them all stripped down. Hopefully, maybe today, definitely in this video, we'll get them stripped down. That's got to go to its home, and these got to go inside. That's the first thing on the agenda for this morning. We are going through now, and we're gonna remove all the stock stuff off these axles. Got the sway bar off, the coil bucket mounts off, taking the radius arms off. I cut the ABS wire. We don't need ABS on this one. Well, we also buy new hubs. But now I get the drag link off and the track bar, and then moving to the rear axle and cutting that stuff off, along with cutting this whole ordeal off so our truss can fit up on there. This is the worst part about all of this, is grinding off that whole deal, and then we have to smooth it out. We're going to cut this a lot cleaner because the truss is actually going to sit right along here and along here. So that's all I got to get cleaned up. But no problem though, we'll get the grinder blades out, keep on cutting away with the plasma cutter. I tell you guys what, my shop has AC, and when you're using the plasma cutter and the grinders, if you don't have the doors open, you will be blowing metal out of your nose for the next month. So the doors had to be open. But we're getting somewhere with this. Rear axle has all the brackets plasma cut off. All I have to do now is start smoothing them out where the welds are at. And same thing in the front axle. Set the truss up on there just to see how it looks. And I'm getting ready to cut the bump stops off of this frame. Cut these bump stops off of it. And then smooth that out. Probably gonna cut this off of here, I think. I don't know yet. Might chop it off. We shall see. I can always do that when the frame's off the truck. This gotta come off. And then we go back here. I'm gonna pull this mount off, this mount off. The fuel system has to come off because AirDog is sending us a new fuel system for this thing. And yeah, so let's get the cutting off these bump stop mounts. I probably should buy grinder blades and grinder disc offline, but instead I just go down to Harbor Freight and buy every $8 blade that they have. So let's go inside the shop and start sanding down these axles. Well, I had my phone set up for time lapse, but it didn't time lapse. So we have the rear axle all sanded down. Gonna have to weld up that right there where the plasma cutter got into the axle a little bit, but no big deal. The breather snapped off. That was a no bueno, but we'll drill that out, retap it, put up a new breather inside there because I did knock the truss out for that breather location. So I'm gonna weld up that little gouge and go from there. We have been freaking grinding away at this axle. It's miserable. Cutting this whole thing off is just not fun. So I'm still deciding what I wanna do with these things. If I want to cut them off or not, or what I want to do. It looks like this one, that one is welded on, but that'll probably not be fun cleaning up inside of here. So maybe I should just leave these on the axle, which I probably will, and then I can always make a mount. Comes off of this for a sway bar. I think those are steel, so I should be able to weld to those. I don't think those are a casting. I know this is cast, this is cast. Obviously the knuckles are cast, but the whole axle tube is steel, so I should be able to weld onto those But yeah, let's keep on grinding away and get this one to that point. And this one's almost done. Still gotta do finishing work, but it's all sanded down and the truss is sitting on there. My little knockout for the breather turned out mint. I need to start doing those on all my axles I build. But yeah, this one's about ready to get tacked on and everything. And just like that, all the brackets we need cut off the axles are now off the axles. I went ahead and threw the other tires on. That way they can just roll around easier. Rear truss is sitting on that axle. That one's all smoothed out. This one is ready to get set onto the axle. See how she turns out. Yeah, that does look really good. Matches the rear truss nice. There's the King's cradle. Other cradle piece. Getting close to putting this on. I gotta get the bolts. I ordered an Allen head bolt to see how it looked, but it doesn't look too good. So we're gonna go ahead and get the grade 8 bolts we need for this and keep on going. So freaking GFP delivery service is about to pull up, he said. Usually you can hear him from a mile away because he's wide open throttle every time he drives. That's how you know Gabe's in the area, because the cops are going that way. Oh! Got stale the trailer. Gabe's finally getting the shit out of my shop.
Yeah, I just, I forgot.
$3 grand worth of lights just probably scratched.
Well, these ones I didn't drive through trees. The other one I did.
Yeah. Time to take our daily scrap to the scrap yard. I'm gonna finally retire this cart. This cart has seen, I would say, better days. Freaking blew the tire off the rim. But yeah, we got to clean up back here. We got seats for sale, axles for sale, doors, fenders, big truck for sale. If anyone wants it, it's for sale. No, it's not. I'm just kidding. Now it's actually clean behind my shop. And all the metal is loaded up in the back of the freaking red gem, I'll call it. Now that we're back, we can get started again for, what is this, day 3? Day 3 or day 4 of this build. And today I think I'm gonna get the axle trusses tacked on. I have parts of the laser shop that need to get cut and picked up to complete the upper cross members I have to build yet still for this truck. What do you guys think though of the axle truss design? I like it. And we have the cradle sitting on the frame. Now time to drill 18 3/4 inch holes to the side of this frame, and yeah, probably hate my life after that. So let's get that going. Oh boy, got the cradle mocked up on there, got 2 bolts on each side. But now, I designed a bracket to bolt in right here. And we're gonna do a piece of 1.5 inch DOM that slides right into here. I gotta weld it around on each side and I'll have a bolting cross support. And that should look good. What else? Get this all bolted up, draw the holes for it. This thing fits perfectly. It looks really good. This thing should sit nice when it's done. I like it. Big truck lift. Big truck, but not as big as my big truck. Her truck can't be stupid massive because I want her to be able to drive it and not, not get pulled over. Got the cross brace in, and she's welded. That looks good. I am just gonna tack it because I want to make sure that it's what I need, and I want to just tack it on because, God forbid, I'm fully welded, and for some odd-ass reason I have to cut it off. But I don't think I'll have to cut it off, to be honest. It's looking good as it is. Lower forward coilover mounts is what they are on the website. The reason why they're forward is because it is a forward axle. So I'm making mounts for them. It bolts into the stock location, right where the coil bucket mount would bolt into. That goes right on there. And that's like that. So let's get over there. I'm gonna weld this one up. And the upper mounts for the coilovers are at the laser shop. The upper panhard mounts at the laser shop, and the rear upper cross members at the laser shop. And after that's all done, I could get going on the shocks, making the dummy shocks. So right now, from that point right there to the center of that point is the same as that point to that point. So the shocks will set the same height off the axle. I did get webbing I designed for right here, just to cap that off a little bit, a little more support. And then come up here to the knuckle. We're gonna have a high steer knuckle that comes up, flat plate right here, and a bolt through there. So then the tie rod will be side to side down there, and like 5 inches up, the panhard, not the panhard mount, 5 inches up like the OBS I did will have the drag length that goes up to the gearbox. So once you get the heim right there, sit like right here. If you guys look, that'll all plane evenly. So all of our angles should be pretty good on this thing. This is still just sitting there, don't mind it. Gotta get that tacked on there today somehow, some which way, somewhere, some why. And then her overlays will be done hopefully today. So maybe in this video you guys will see the overlays. We made a trip to the bolt store and we got 2.5 inch bolts. Reason being is for the rear, I designed a plate that sits right here. So as you guys can see this line right here, across, up and over. I designed a plate that's gonna go inside there. I'm gonna weld it all the way around. And then my other plate will sit flat like this. And then that gives us a 1/4 inch difference that this is from this. So that way everything's nice and tight. And then that'll go through, let's say, the whole frame and the upper cross member along with the plate that I designed. So once that's all inside there, this bolt will go through there. Have one here, one here, one here, one here. Then our coilover mount will come out, bolt in down there. I bought bolts for down here too, but I got them a 1/2 inch too long, and that's hideous. So that's gonna come out of here in the next video. AirDog sent us a fuel system, so that'll be here soon. That's enough for today. I think we got a good amount of stuff done in the time we spent on it today. What do you guys think of this thing? Drop down in the comments what you guys think. This is about where it'll sit on 40s, I'd say. It won't skate that hard on 40s, but obviously a little bit higher because it's got baby tires on it. But in the next video, the parts will be here for the upper cross members and the front coilover mounts, and hopefully I can get the measurements pulled early next week for the arms and get her on the ground. And I gotta order a high steer knuckle and a bunch of that. You guys may be wondering, why is the bumper off? Well, the reason being is the bumper got ate up by the wheels. Good thing though, I got another Minty Sport bumper sitting there, along with another one sitting back there. There's 3 of them sitting here. And haven't talked about this yet. The bumper for my big truck. My big truck gets a big bumper. Taryn didn't want a big bumper. I offered it to her. She said, nope, I like the sport bumper better. So that'll go on my big truck, which will be coming out of its hibernation here soon in a near future video. But with that being said, that's going to end today's video. Be sure to drop a comment, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and check out the merch. Peace.